Good afternoon. Today's another DIY project. I call it Fun with Foam. I'm going to show you how to use foam to create armor pieces for photography props. Today's video is part one of a 4-part series of different armor pieces. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take a piece of foam like this and create this bracer. I'm also going to show you how to create a shoulder epaulette. So, let's go check it out. Now that we've gathered all our supplies, let's look at the different types of foam and the different thicknesses. You can get this from any of your craft stores. You can see from really thin to super thick. Now, this stuff I got at the dollar store. They come in about a 12 by 12 inch square panel, and it's just a kid's play mat stuff. Now, this comes in about a 2 foot by 2 foot, and it's just, I got it from Canadian Tire. You can use it for flooring in workshops and stuff like that. So you can see it's textured on one side, which might work to your advantage. The other side is just smooth. The same with the blue. It's textured on one side, smooth on the other. So you can see there's various thicknesses of the foam. So you just need to check what size you need. So that's it with foam. There's lots of places to get it. It comes in various sizes, even in rolls. So have a look at that. So let me get that out of the way. So in order to make the bracer, the first thing you need to do with most of the armor is you need to make a template. So on your wrist, you just simply measure around and then measure up how far you want the bracer to go, and then measure around again. Once you've done that, right? So I then have a piece of paper. So I take a standard piece of paper and I mark out my measurements on it. That is my template. I then take my template on the foam, and I always try and get it as close to the edge as I possibly can, so I don't waste foam, because you can use the foam odd bits for other little projects. Now, in cutting the foam, you can get all different types of X-Acto knives. Template down on my foam, simply trace around, and on a cutting board, which this is not, you would take your X-Acto knife and cut out your shape. Once you've got your base shape, then you need to get this bend happening. Now, you can bend the foam, but it won't stay. It'll take quite a bit to do it. So the trick to that is a heat gun. Heat gun does two things. One, it'll help you shape the foam, heat it to bend it, and it also takes the pores of the foam and closes it up, which makes it a lot easier when it comes time for painting. So, first thing I do, trace it, cut out my piece. So say this is my piece of foam now. To get this texture, I'm not sure how well you can see the texture that's on there. To create that texture, take a piece of tin foil and crumple it all up. The deeper the grooves in the tin foil, the greater the grooves you're going to have in your foam. Lay the tin foil on the piece of foam, iron it. Be careful not to iron it so that it's too hot, or it'll start messing the foam up. It needs to be fairly hot, but be aware of that. So you just simply iron the tin foil, which is sitting on top of the foam. It leaves you with that really cool leather-looking texture. Then heat gun it to shape your foam. Once you've got that done, you've basically got the bracer done. It's very easy to make. Now, these pieces here, these little gold pieces, are simply, if you can see the backside there, they're not paper clips, but they're like a push pin that you go through and then you fold the two tabs over each side. I cannot think of what you call them. And then I put a piece of hot glue there just so it wouldn't scratch the model's arm. The piece here, you could use a piece of leather. This is actually just a piece of this orange foam. So I created 3 on each side, found a piece of shoelace, and that's all there is to the bracer. Then paint. I just used standard acrylic paint that I got from one of the craft supply stores and painted it to the look that I wanted. Works out really good with going with the brown, and then do kind of a bit of a black whitewash, thin the black down, because you can see in here how it's a little darker and lighter. It gives you that more of the antiquing and a bit better look to it. So that's basically it for the bracer. I mean, the one pattern will do both your bracers. So that's it. Just be careful with the heat gun that you don't melt the foam. Some of this really thin foam will melt really fast. That's it for the 2 bracers. Now, for the epaulet, I didn't have or make a pattern for it because this piece, kind of hard to see because I painted right through, was actually blue. I think that one was green. These are knee pads that I got at the dollar store. They had a strap that came through here. I just simply trimmed it so that it fit properly on my shoulder. It already had the shape, so all I had to do is trim where I wanted it. Now, for this part here, I simply took some of this orange foam, and you can see how I put a little notch in it so I could fold it over, which created this dip down. And I did 2 pieces, one a bit bigger than the other. Now, to glue onto here and to glue onto here, you can use hot glue, and I did in some places. I use the heavy-duty contact cement. Works wonderful. Just make sure you're in a vented room because the stuff really stinks. And it's one of those glues that you need to apply it and then wait, say 5 minutes for the glue to get tacky. And then you would just simply stick it down, hold it for a second, bonded. Works great. So that's it. This trim piece, I just went out to Fabricland and they have all kinds of these trim pieces for clothing and that. I just simply hot glued this all around the edge. So you can design and change your pattern on this all you want. Now for holding these on, these slots were perfect. I just went out to one of the thrift shops, bought a bunch of old leather belts and put the belt through here. So I had the belt come across the top and down through the holes. That held on, and I had a cross piecing that I had used with the armor set, so everything held on just beautifully with it. So this is simply a knee pad that I got from the dollar store. Spray painted it. This one was a spray paint. Now, once you finish painting your pieces, especially in photography, you don't want anything super shiny, and plus you want to try and protect this a bit. I use this here, the Krylon matte finish. So it does 2 things. 1, it matte finish, so it knocks out your shine. And 2, it helps protect the paint and makes it a little more durable. Because I have had a few places, especially on the bracer where it was getting rubbed. You can see a little knot there maybe. A little bit of the green showing through. The matte spray definitely helps with that. So that's really all I have for the bracer and for the epaulet. As I said, this is part 1 of 4 pieces of the armor set. I've got a shield, a helmet, and a breastplate that I'm also going to be showing you as well, and showing you all the different parts. I will show you a couple of images that I had done using these in a photo shoot. So let's have a look at these now.